Hello and welcome to Game Patrol. I'm your host Landon Plumley, and hey guys, what's up? I forgot I had this turned up a little bit, so I'm going to turn that down so I'm not quite as loud for you guys. But for my video people, I want you guys to know that uh, there might be some glitches going on today. I'm not 100% certain, so I've mentioned before that I stream on Twitch, and so I recently downloaded Streamlabs to try and do that. Just because it's a lot easier, it's a lot more integrated into Twitch. Will make it look more professional. I'm really trying to spice up my streams a little bit better. But ever since I've done that, it's made OBS glitch. Like I'm still using OBS for my recording needs. Because I don't exactly know. Like I'm not fully acquainted with Streamlabs yet. I'm still taking some time to test it. I literally downloaded it yesterday. But for some reason, ever since I downloaded it, OBS is really glitchy. I don't know. So I saw it earlier. I haven't seen it since I started this recording, which is awesome. Maybe I won't have issues, but if there are issues, I apologize for that in advance. But yeah, I don't know. It just the recording quality was not great for this video that I was recording for the YouTube channel yesterday. And yeah, like I said, it seems to be going okay now, but yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that. So yeah, welcome to episode 15. I don't think I mentioned that already. I don't know. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn down this fan because I meant to do that before, but I definitely forgot. So yeah, welcome. It's gonna be a pretty flippin' good time. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, but there was something else I was gonna say, I feel like, at the beginning, but I definitely forgot. First, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired, man. Like, it is 8 in the morning currently. I didn't sleep all night. I've gotten 11 hours of sleep in the past 3 days. But I made some really good eggs this morning, so that was pretty dope. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna jump into the games coming this week. There's a lot of them. Like we actually, this week's a really good week for gaming. Something really cool. So today you can jump into Tom Clancy's Elite Squad for mobile. So the world is facing a new unknown threat, and playing by the rules won't win this war. As commander of an unprecedented elite soldier squad, you have been granted carte blanche. Excuse me if I mispronounce that, to recruit the best and most iconic agents from the Tom Clancy's video games universe. So, if you are a huge fan of the Tom Clancy games, which I've played a bunch of them, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a huge fan. I feel like I can't, but I honestly might check this out. I'm not a huge fan of mobile games, but if you like Tom Clancy franchise and like mobile games, this seems to be the thing for you. Also today, Tell Me Why Chapter 1 is releasing on PC and Xbox One. After 10 years apart, twins Tyler and Allison reunite to sell their childhood home. They soon realize their past is not what they remember. So this is the new game from Don't Nod, and it's actually exclusive to, I want to say exclusive to Microsoft, which technically isn't. Well, it's kind of true. See, I saw there was a glitch. My video people, I saw it. But anyway, this is Don't Nod's newest game. The developers of Life is Strange, and wasn't there another one? Didn't they come out with another game besides? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, they had the Adventures of Captain Spear, but I think that's also technically in the Life is Strange universe. But this is completely new, I think. I don't think it's set in the Life is Strange universe. But anyway, so yeah, this is their newest game. And it also deals with transgender. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. Something I'm really excited about. I'm actually going to stream it on my Twitch on Friday, tomorrow. So I'm really excited. I would stream it today, but I already have a planned stream. And so I'm going to wait until tomorrow. But that is out today for you guys to check out. It actually might not be out just yet because it unlocks at noon Eastern. And the podcast will likely be up before that. So, if you're an early listener, it might not technically be out yet for you, but it's supposed to drop at noon. Also today, Surgeon Simulator 2 for PC. So it's a good day to save lives, but you can't save them all alone. Now, with the help of other skilled surgeons, break the boring order of mundane medicine and embrace the chaos only a bunch of inept people can create together. Malpractice makes perfect. So, Surgeon Simulator was one of the craziest games to ever exist for the PC. And so I'm really don't I'm kind of tired right now. If you hadn't, I already said that, and so I really don't know what I just said. I promise I'm not inebriated in any way. I'm just sleep deprivation is a real thing. But Surgeon Simulator was a beloved game, and so this is a sequel, which I believe, if I remember correctly, has co-op, and that's why that description was right there. So that's really cool new addition. But yeah, that is, I believe, exclusive to the Epic Store. I don't believe they have it on Steam, which is annoying, but you can play it. You can play it. So that's out today. Also out today, Moon for Nintendo Switch, which is a weird release. So in 1997, the now legendary anti-RPG Moon launched in Japan. Now, under the watchful eye of its original creators, it's finally in English. Have you ever felt it odd that the heroes of RPGs go around opening villagers' closets and stealing from them, or that they travel the world indiscriminately killing all monsters they meet? This game looks at the RPGs we all know and love from a new perspective. So this is a really cool game. It's not super duper touched up, so it's a very old looking game. The gameplay is probably a little outdated, but if you enjoy those older games, now it's really glitching. But anyway, apologies for that. I'm still figuring it out. Hopefully I'll have this resolved before next week. But if you enjoy older games, and it sounds really cool, like the premise, of basically being an anti-RPG, and just sort of critiquing 90s RPGs. That's really cool. Like the entire game dedicated to that. That's a really cool thing. And so if that's something you're interested in, it's out on Switch today. Also out today, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered for PS4, PC, and mobile. And that should tell you about the quality of this game that is coming out on these consoles and also mobile. So, this is an enchanting action RPG that follows a young group known as the Crystal Caravans as they embark on an epic journey to search for myrrh, a precious and rare liquid needed to cleanse and maintain a crystal, protecting their world from the deadly gas miasma. So, this is a remaster of a game that I believe was on the GameCube. I don't want to say for certain, but I'm fairly positive that's where it's from, or at least, I don't know if it was. I don't think it was exclusive to GameCube, but from that era. So the reviews came out. They're not super great. I saw Seth Macy's review on IGN, and he kind of trashed it and saying that, it was a very haphazard remaster that didn't do any quality of life improvements and everything, and just with the outdated gameplay and extremely long loading times, it's just not a good experience. But if you're a huge Final Fantasy fan, and if you really loved this game when it first came out, check it out. Otherwise, I'm warning. I'm just warning you. You do you, but the reviews are not great. Tomorrow, we are getting Windbound for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So the Forbidden Islands are calling, unlock their secrets, shipwrecked on an island, explore, adapt, and navigate the land and perilous seas to stay alive. So this game actually looks really cool. It's an indie game that looks like a mix of Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker. So a lot of Zelda stuff going on here. That's really, really cool. It looks awesome. Again, a lot of Wind Waker vibes, but kind of with like Breath of the Wild's modernity / aesthetic, I guess. It looks really cool. And so if you are into that sort of thing, if you're into indie games or Zelda games or both, I think this is something for you. So that is out tomorrow. Also out tomorrow, Wasteland 3 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Following the critically acclaimed 2014 Game of the Year winner Wasteland 2, the RPG series that pioneered the post-apocalyptic genre in video games returns with Wasteland 3. So I'm going to be talking about this a lot next week. I'm going to be streaming it on Saturday, streaming the beginning of the game, but I'm hoping that I can play some more outside of stream, again, depending on time. Hopefully I can find some more time. But I'm really excited for this game. I'm a little less excited after having played a little bit of the first two. I mentioned last week how I played Wasteland Remastered and did not have a good time. I played Wasteland 2 this week and also did not have a good time. I respect the hell out of it, and we're going to have a talk later on in the episode about my feeling on, gaming opinions and respecting, being able to respect games even though you don't personally enjoy them. Just sort of that whole philosophy, because I got into a conversation with someone about it, and that's why I wanted to have a more in-depth discussion here on the podcast, because it's something that I think is personally interesting. But yeah, it was not a game for me. It's a very complex game that I, again, respect the hell out of. It was very complex, and it was something that I didn't really understand, and I just wasn't having a very good time with it. So I'm hoping Wasteland 3 is a little more accessible than 2 was. But again, like, I'm not saying Wasteland 2 is a bad game by any means. I understand why people enjoy it. It's just, it was very difficult for me to get a hold of, and that was not something that I particularly enjoyed. But Wasteland 3 does seem to be a more accessible game, and so I'm still excited. I'm just a little less so now that I've experienced the first two and I wasn't really a huge fan. But again, that's not to say that they're bad games. They just weren't for me, because believe it or not, I don't actually love every single game I play. And I don't actually love all genres. Okay, I shouldn't say I don't love all genres and then go to say I love a genre, but like I really respect strategy games. I'm just really bad at them, and so even with strategy games, I still like them. I'm just not good at them. But top down, I don't even know what these are. Like, I guess whatever the heck Wasteland is, I'm not a fan of those types of games necessarily. Again, I respect them, and I think they're really cool things to them, but they're just not my personal, they're not games I run to. And so I'm a little worried about how I'll feel about Wasteland 3, but I'm excited to play it and get back with you guys on my thoughts. So, also coming tomorrow, Nexomon Extinction for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So this is a return to classic monster catching games with a brand new story, eccentric characters, and over 300 unique Nexomon to trap, tame, and evolve. If you like Pokemon games, this is the game for you. It's another one of those like Pokemon and Temtem, and it's we're getting more and more of these games now. I think Temtem kind of ushered in a new wave of like Pokemon copycats, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, if they can differentiate themselves. But if you're interested in creature collecting games, gotta catch them all, so that sort of stuff, this is for you. So that comes out tomorrow if you're interested. So tomorrow as well, we're getting Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So this is an arcade football game bringing a refreshing look to the football genre with the exhilarating action and over-the-top shots that made the license famous. So this is basically if they made soccer into an anime. And I say soccer because of my US people, but outside football. So this is not football as in American football, but football as in soccer, international football. But yeah, this is basically if they made it an anime. Very over-the-top stuff. Honestly, it kind of looked cool, and so I'm kind of interested in it. But yeah, if you are into unique twists on sports games, this is something that could potentially be for you. If you're into anime, I think this is something cool. It looks interesting, to say the least. But yeah, something to keep your eye out for if you're interested. On Tuesday, we're getting Ari and the Secret of Seasons for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Take control of the seasons and use them to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and discover the beautiful world of Valdi in this award-winning indie adventure. So aesthetically, this game reminds me a lot of Concrete Genie. I thought it has a really cool aesthetic, and again, it's another indie game that if you are interested in those types of things, it sounds like it could be really cool and really unique and interesting. And so yeah, it's a cool little indie game coming on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, Crusader Kings 3 for PC. This is something that, PC gamers are really, really excited about. Paradox Development Studio brings you the sequel to one of the most popular strategy games ever made. Crusader Kings 3 is the heir to a long history of historical grand strategy experiences and arrives with a host of new ways to ensure the success of your royal house. I just remembered that I didn't silence my phone, so we were taking care of that. And I also wanted to charge it, so we're going to do that. But yeah, if you're a PC gamer, you've known about, or if you're a Crusader Kings fan, you've known about this game. It's finally coming Tuesday. If not, it's an RTS. Yeah. Um, i just look it up. I guess that's a thing that you can do if you want on Tuesday. And then also on Tuesday, Iron Harvest is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. A classic real-time strategy game with an epic single-player campaign, multiplayer, and co-op set in the alternate reality of 1920 plus. So, this game is basically, how I understand it, like a Total War game set just after World War One, but alternate reality. So Total War mixed with a splash of Wolfenstein. I know Wolfenstein is World War II, but like the feel of Wolfenstein, um, but not the gameplay. Not the gameplay of Wolfenstein. Don't take me on that, but like you know what I mean. So yeah, it looks cool. Looks really cool. So if you're interested in RTS games, this is something that is coming out on Tuesday and may be of interest to you. And so yeah, those are all the games that are coming out this week. Like I said, it's a lot. I think it's like 12. I think if I counted that when I was creating, coming up with the outline for the podcast, I was like, wow, there's a lot of games coming this week. And so yeah, really cool stuff. Lots of variety in there. So I think there's some stuff for everybody. If you're interested, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out this week, and a lot of it's coming to, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's multiple games coming to Game Pass, multiple big games. Like I said, we got Wasteland 3 and the first chapter of Tell Me Why. And so it's really cool. If you don't have Game Pass, get it. If you have a PC that you game on, or an Xbox, and you don't have Game Pass, what are you doing with your life? It's super cheap. It's super awesome. It's the greatest value in gaming. I'm not sponsored by Microsoft. It's literally just that good. So get Game Pass. Now, onto the gaming news. Speaking of Microsoft, this is a really big deal. So Halo veteran Joseph, and I'm going to mispronounce his name. I think it's Staten. I'm going to go Staten. Joseph Staten joins 343 Industries to get Halo Infinite back on track, was the quote. So this is a really big deal because Joseph Staten wrote all of the Halo games while Bungie had the reins. He was the main writer, main creative person on Halo 1 through Reach. Now there he was involved with he wasn't as involved with Reach's development, but 1 through 3 for certain, and ODST and all that. So yeah, this is a big deal. And so to have that sort of thing, because with Halo Infinite and really just 343's time with Halo, it's been very disjointed. Halo 4 and Halo 5 are two very different games and have both been received fairly divisively. And now with Halo Infinite being very much up in the air, it just got delayed because people were not happy with the gameplay showing. We don't really know what Halo Infinite's going to be like, and it seems like its development cycle has not been the greatest. There's been a lot of inner conflict, a lot of shifting around with people, and so a lot of chaos going on at 343, it seems like, and we don't even know exactly what's going on there. So having this Halo vet, this huge part of Halo for the first 10 years, it's a really big deal. And so I've heard some people reacting where it's like, isn't this sort of late for him to come in? And it does beg the question of like, how much is he going to be able to change so far into development? But I think this is a good sign. I don't think this will hurt the game by any means. It does be like, how much better can he make the game this far into its development? But I don't think it's going to hurt the game by any means. So I am excited. I think that's really cool. Also, we got some Call of Duty news this week. So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has officially been revealed, and it is set to release November 13th. So I talked last week about how I thought the Series X was launching November 6th. I've changed my mind because of this and the next news story. So it is out November 13th. Again, we still don't know. It says that PS5 and Xbox Series X versions are set for release this holiday season. So we don't know if it will also be the 13th or sometime else. Yeah, I think it's November 13th. Whether or not the PS5 launches on the 13th is, it's whatever. I don't think it's launching before the 13th. I think it'll either be the 13th or the 20th. Probably the 20th, but I don't think it'll be before. But yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that in a second here. So yeah, they revealed some stuff about the campaign. It's going to be a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, which is interesting. I'm surprised they didn't go the Modern Warfare route and just go for a soft reboot. But, this is also cool. I mean, Black Ops 1 was, a lot of people thought, the best campaign in the Call of Duty franchise. And so getting a direct sequel to that is pretty cool. You get to actually, customize your character, and you can make them non-binary, which is really cool. So, it's not just male or female. But yeah, you can customize the character you play as, and Mason will return as a non-playable character. So it's really cool seeing that sort of thing going on. And they also detailed the current gen and next gen purchase plans. So if you buy the standard edition on PS4, either digitally or physically, you will have the option to buy an upgrade to the PS5 version of the game. However, if you buy physically, the disc will still be required to be inserted to the PS5 even if you are playing the upgraded version. Meanwhile, Xbox One purchases cannot upgrade their version for the Series X if you buy the physical edition, but upgrades for digital editions are currently being evaluated according to Activision. So, it doesn't look like they're going to be utilizing smart delivery, and it seems that they're not following the masses in terms of free upgrades or anything like that. But yeah. So, however, they're kind of like forward instead of being forwards compatible, or instead of being backwards compatible. It seems they'll be forward compatible. So the PS5 Standard Edition only includes the PS5 version of the game, but the Series X version, the disc will be playable on Xbox One. So honestly, for Xbox users, it would probably benefit you to get the Series X version, regardless of whether you have a Series X or not, because then, you're getting the upgrade for free, unless they charge $70, which I don't know if they have the prices up yet. That could be a thing. I don't know if they're up for pre-order. Let me actually look that up because I'm curious. Black Ops. Cool. Yeah, I'm actually really curious if the pre-orders are up, because if they went the $70 route, which I think is perfectly justified. I don't think that's bad at all. Interesting. Okay. This is very complicated. Okay, so it's literally just called Xbox Live, which is interesting. It's not really, it's $60, so it doesn't seem like they're doing the $70 for next gen. But it's kind of complicated since I was looking at the Xbox version instead of the PS5 version, and so I don't know what happened to this, but since Xbox is all about their creating a marketplace. Plays on PS. I don't know. But anyway, it looks like it'll be 50, not 60. But yeah, that's the thing. So Black Ops Cold War officially got revealed, and they're also gonna have a zombies mode. Zombies mode will be back, because it wasn't in Modern Warfare. Yeah, I was thinking about it. And of course, you'll have multiplayer, but that was. And Warzone will also come to Black Ops Cold War. It will be integrated, and so all that fun stuff. So my other big news, release date wise, which makes me believe that the Series X will launch on November 13th, is Yakuza Like a Dragon release date has been set for November 13th as well. So they had confirmed that Yakuza was going to be a launch game on the Series X. So again, I thought before that November 6th was going to be the launch date for the Series X, but that would mean that the Series X version of Yakuza would come out before the Xbox One version, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And someone argued that there's it's still possible, because when is what has Microsoft been doing that makes any sense lately? But come on, there's no way that that would be a thing, that they would come out with a Series X version before the Xbox One version. Absolutely not. No way. So the Series X is coming out November 13th. That much I can say with 100% certainty. I forget if I made a bet. I feel like I did make a bet, but in last podcast, I need to look at that. But if I did, I'll already admit that I've lost that bet because it's November 13th. There's no, like, with this news, there's no way it's not the 13th. If not even later. I doubt that. But it's definitely the 13th at the earliest. And then PS5 is probably going to be the 20th. But yeah, so yeah, Yakuza is also coming on the 13th, which is really cool. I've been meaning to jump into the Yakuza games. I played Zero, like a little bit of Zero, but then I accidentally forgot to save, and so I lost everything, and I played for like 3 hours. So I haven't played it since, but I've been meaning to, and I think Like Your Dragon looks really cool, so I'm kind of excited about that. And then also we got two big news things about DC. This is from DC Fandom over the weekend. So we'll start off with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We got a first trailer and a 2022 release date. So yeah, this is I was very cautious about it because we heard rumors that it was going to be a game as a service game, and there's still the potential for that. But it looks like it is more grounded, not so much in... Like, it does seem to be a little bit more narrative-driven, like the Arkham games, just with some cool new some cool new quirks, such as you can play in co-op up to 4 players. And so you get to play as Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark. And yeah, you can play with single player, or you can play with up to 3 other people in co-op. And so that's really, really cool. And so it seems, based on the trailer, that Brainiac has made the Justice League evil, and so you are tasked with hunting them down. I don't know how these 4 people could take down Superman, but sure we'll find out. You know, they'll have to figure it out. But Superman's pretty OP. I don't know if I trust these 4 with taking him down, but you know, it's whatever. I'm sure we can try. But yeah, they've also confirmed that this is set in the Arkhamverse, which is very interesting, and a lot of people have been quick to point out that Deadshot is white in the Arkham games and is black in this game, yet it is set in the Arkhamverse. You know, my assumption is that this game was not intended to, like, when they originally came up with the idea, they did not intend for it to be in the Arkhamverse, but I would guess some of the developers either started adding Easter eggs, forgetting that it wasn't, or they just came to the decision of, you know, this will sell better if we say it's in the Arkhamverse, and then we can have some goodies in there that people can enjoy, you know, some Easter eggs, some references, things like that, where people can be like, oh yeah, it's awesome. They also confirmed that it would be, you would be able to wander around Metropolis, so it's an open world game, like the previous Arkham games, but yeah, you'll be able to run around in Metropolis, and so that's pretty cool. And so I got a Snapchat, so I want to figure out what's going on, because that's from my roommate, who's literally right next door. No, okay, we're good. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that's supposed to come out in 2022. We didn't see any gameplay, so we have no idea what it's supposed to play like. But I'm not super upset about that, because we had another big game discussed at DC Fandom, and that was Gotham Knights, which is a game I am super, super excited for. And I haven't really been excited for a new game in a while, at least like a newly announced game. So I'm happy. So yeah, this is WB Games Montreal's new Batman game, because it turns out it's not a Batman game, it's a Bat Family game, because Batman is dead, and everybody was quick to jump to, you know, there's no way Batman's dead, they're not gonna do that. I hope to God they do, because I am tired of the old trope of character's dead and then he magically comes back at the end to save the day, yada yada yada. He better be dead, honestly. Like, you know, I think it's a really interesting game concept and really cool. Like, we're getting to see the Bat family take center stage and not Batman. You know, we've got a bunch of really good Batman games, and so seeing this other this new take, I like it. I like it a lot. And so I really hope that, because they don't have to make a franchise out of this. You know, if it does really well, maybe we can get some more. But, like, they don't need Batman to be alive. They don't need that. Like, this has nothing to do with any of the other games. It's not set in the Arkhamverse. They've confirmed that. And so they don't need Batman to be alive. Just leave him dead. Keep him out. I really, really hope he doesn't come back at the end. I really hope he's not alive, like everyone suspects. Because, A, that's predictable as hell. And B, like I said, I don't think it lends anything to the story that, they seem to be wanting to tell. I don't know anything about how this game's going to go. But I just really hope that they keep Batman dead, I hope it's not another stupid ruse, because this game took, they teased this thing for, 2 years? And now we finally got it. And it's like, I'm excited. They confirmed a 2021 release, and it looks awesome. So it deals with the Bat family, and you get to play as either Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, or Red Hood, who people aren't seeming to be super thrilled with, as the other three are all like melee based, heroes, whereas Red Hood is an anti-hero who uses guns and kills people. So a little bit outlandish there. Again, I want to see some actual Red Hood gameplay before I make any quick judgments, but yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's really freaking awesome. The game will also feature 2-player online co-op. No local co-op, just online. But you can also play single player. However, if you choose to play single player, you will have an AI companion. And so I'm assuming you can choose between the other 3 that you're not playing. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. So you'll also have the ability to drive around via Batcycle. And yeah, each character is going to have their own quirks and different things that they can do that the others can't. And it looks really freaking awesome. It looks like a co-op Arkham game without Batman. And, it's awesome. So, yeah, I'll also read, just because I'm excited about this game, and so to talk about it as much as I can, I'll read the official character descriptions of each character. So, Batgirl, also known as Barbara Gordon, is a determined fighter and skilled hacker. As the daughter of deceased Gotham Commissioner Jim Gordon, so yeah, he's also dead in this game, she had helped Batman as Oracle in the past. Now, after years of recovery and preparation, she is ready to step into her new role, wielding her melee tonfa and harnessing her training in kickboxing, capoeira, I have no idea how to pronounce that, and jiu-jitsu. So, the developers mentioned that Batgirl was going to be the most similar to Batman, and so I feel like they kind of geared this game to feature Batgirl. I feel like she'll be the most heavily oriented into the story, and it seems to be, kind of like her game. If you had to pick like one character to be like the main character, it would probably be her, based on what they've shown us so far. It seems that's what they're going for. But again, she's got her own stuff, she's got her own unique flair, but she seems to be the most Batman-oriented character on the list. Nightwing is Dick Grayson, the first Robin, who was Batman's protege before becoming a hero in his own right. He's a natural leader and the eldest and wisest member of the Batman family. Nightwing's mastery in acrobatics is complemented by his expertise use of his signature dual Eskrima sticks. I don't know if that's pronounced right either, making him proficient at taking out enemies. So, Nightwing was always fun to play as in the Arkham games, and so I'm not mad at this at all. I'm excited to be able to play as Nightwing more, like all the time. I'm hoping that you can transition fluidly between all the characters, because I know people are like, I'm going to play this character, I'm going to play this area. I want to play as all of them, I want to be able to get the most out of this game and just experience all of them. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to work with switching characters and doing that sort of stuff. Red Hood, formerly known as Jason Todd, is an intense and volatile anti-hero, which stems from his death and forced resurrection by one of Batman's most dangerous foes. Red Hood has trouble keeping his temper in check, but will not hesitate to step into the line of fire when a friend is threatened. His training has given him peak human strength and proficiency in multiple combat techniques with all manner of weapons, both traditional and high-tech. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays. Again, he's kind of like the big question on this game, but yeah, I'm very interested. I love the way he looks. Like his design in this game is my favorite out of all four of them. I just think he looks really cool with the mask and everything. Like their design for him in this game looks really, really dope. And then Robin is Tim Drake, the young prodigy and genius of the team who is a master of deductive reasoning. As a true believer in Batman's mission, he is motivated by the conviction that Gotham City needs protecting and hopes to be the type of hero Batman personified. An expert fighter armed with his collapsible quarterstaff and skilled in a variety of stealth techniques, Robin also possesses a background in combined psychological warfare and behavioral sciences. So Robin seems to be the more stealth-oriented character, so if you want to go more the stealthy route, Robin seems geared towards that. But I'm going to take a drink real quick. But yeah, so I'm really excited. They showed off a gameplay tutorial. Well, not tutorial, but, they showed off a little gameplay walkthrough, and it looks really cool. I thought it was very bold of them to show off a Mr. Freeze boss fight, as Arkham City's Mr. Freeze boss fight is, typically called one of the best boss fights of all time, like with video game, like just a really, really well designed boss fight. And so for them to say, not only is Mr. Freeze in this game, we're going to have a boss fight and we're going to show you some of it off the bat, it was pretty bold. I didn't see enough of it to tell whether or not, it would hit that bar. But, yeah, WB Montreal, they got some balls doing that. But yeah, so we finally got, our Court of Owls game. We're getting it next year. It is coming out on both current gen and next gen. However, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is only coming to next gen, so it will only be on Series X, PS5, and PC. And so, yeah, we got a bunch of info on Gotham Knights, so that's why I'm not super upset about not getting a ton of info on Suicide Squad, because it's a couple of years out. They probably don't know a whole lot. They probably can't show a whole lot, especially with COVID. But yeah, I'm excited. They've been working on this game for 5 years now. I assume that they've been working on this since Arkham Knight, but again, they came out with Arkham VR in 2016, so benefit of the doubt, they've been working on this game for at least 4 years. And so I think that it's not a game that's rushed. I don't think it's a game that is, something put together. I think this is something they've put a lot of love into, and so I'm not super worried about it. I'm excited to see more, but I'm not, I'm satisfied with Gotham Knights. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for it. And yeah, they've also confirmed it is not going to be a games as a service game, and you'll be able to explore, Gotham and do all sorts of really cool stuff. And so yeah, that was the gaming news for the day. Now, getting into the main topic I wanted to talk about. And like I said earlier, I had someone ask me, because we were talking about Animal Crossing, in that I didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else, but I respect the game. And they said, how do you respect a game? And so I wanted to talk about just the idea of game opinions, and everybody's out today acting like they're game critics, including myself, and everybody's giving their opinions on games and saying like whether it's a good game or a bad game. And I've talked a little bit about gamer toxicity. I feel like I've said that on this podcast before. I've said it for years, that if a game isn't good, it's terrible. There's no middle ground, there's no spectrum in terms of the majority of the gaming community. That's like, I think Mass Effect Andromeda is a perfect example of that it's not a terrible game, but everyone said it was, because it didn't meet the Mass Effect trilogy standard. And so, it wasn't a terrible game by any means, but everyone acted like it was, because it wasn't an amazing game. And there's plenty of other games that have fallen in that trap. And so, first off, I want to say, because there's a ton of people who act like they know this, but they really don't. So, let me be clear. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, no matter how stupid it is. So, let's not bash anybody. Let's not say you're wrong. Because here's the thing is that games are meant to be fun. And so, if someone finds them fun, that's awesome. If someone does not find them fun, that's okay. And so, let people discuss video games and let people enjoy video games. Or if they don't enjoy them, let them find a game they do enjoy. And let's all just love one another. And yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying that, everybody has their own opinion. I'm trying not to yawn that much, but I haven't gotten much sleep. And so, video games are supposed to be for everybody. So I hope that we can do that sort of thing, that we don't have to create this environment where people can't talk about video games or feel that they can't share their opinions on the games that are loved or not loved, because they don't agree with the majority. And there are games that have been really divisive, like Death Stranding. A lot of people thought that was game of the year, and a lot of people were like, this game is boring as hell. And so it was a very divisive game. Some people loved it, some people hated it, and there wasn't really much of a consensus. It was very determinate on, who you are as a gamer. And I think that's honestly a really cool thing, I hate how people rely on reviews to be like, is this a good game or is this a bad game? And I fall into that trap too, where I see the reviews for a game and that kind of gives me a bias. I go into it. If it has really good reviews, I go into it thinking it's a really good game, and I think there's something wrong with me if I'm not enjoying it, or like, it's like, I don't really see it there, but like, I can see where they're coming from with this. Or on the flip end, if it's getting bad reviews and I'm like kind of enjoying it, but I'm like, well, I can understand what they're saying. Well, maybe this isn't that good, and it skews my opinion of the game. Now, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at reviews for a game, because if you don't have a lot of money, you obviously want to know want to know if the game you're purchasing is worth it, and that's that's important. Oh, sorry. So yeah, you should be able to go get that information if you so wish, but I definitely think we go a little too far. I think we go and look at reviews and we see that as the be all end all, when reviews are opinions, And so if a game is overwhelmingly disliked, then yeah, and there are games like that. But if a game has mixed reviews, it's important to really look at the entirety instead of looking at the numbers or looking at one review. Looking at and this obviously takes time. The more detailed you get into it, the more accurate you'll get. The more accurate a description of the game you'll get, but that involves time, and so it's really just how much time you want to devote to researching a game when you might not even get it. And so it's understandable, but yeah, I think it's just like anything else, ignorance is bliss. You can just be ignorant and just do whatever and you'll be fine, but you'll get much more of a meaningful experience if you take the time to look at reviews beyond the number, or look at multiple reviews, or just, do more research about what it is you're potentially investing money into or not investing money into. And so yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but also make sure if you are going to say something, to have some knowledge behind it, or if you have some knowledge behind the decisions you're making, and that's what reviews are for. And it goes beyond, like I said, just the number, because everybody even has their own sort of system of an 8 out of 10 might be better for me than it is for Joe Schmo. Someone might think an 8 out of 10 is bad. That they only want 10 out of 10 games, when for me, I see a 7 out of 10 is good, versus other people be like, if I were to say that a game was a 7 out of 10, it's good, but it's not great. But some people, they see a 7 out of 10, they're like, oh, what's wrong with it? Why is it that bad? And so, just knowing the full explanation of a game and really looking at that. And again, I fall into the same pit of looking at a review score and just looking at the number, because I don't want to read all that. I just want to know quick, like, I look at the verdict, I look at the main paragraph, and I'm like, okay. And that can be okay. depending on what you're looking for. If you just are like, I'm interested to see what critics are thinking. Oh. I don't want to know too much about the game. I just want to know, basis, and just curious. But if you're really looking at, should I invest in this game, it will really benefit you to look deep into these reviews, because most are spoiler free, and so you shouldn't have any issues with that. It shouldn't tarnish your gameplay. But really looking into things, because again, the less ignorant you are, the more time you put into it, the more educated guess or more educated decision you can make. And then, like I said, the other thing I really wanted to talk about with this point is the fact that you can respect a game without enjoying it. There are plenty of games that I have played that I personally haven't enjoyed, but I respect the hell out of. Like I said, the Wasteland games, I think that they're not terrible games. They're just not for me, and I respect what they're doing. It's just not, they're not games that I particularly want to play. Same with Animal Crossing. I respect Animal Crossing and what it's done. I think it'll probably be a Game of the Year contender. I don't know if it'll win. Maybe it will. But it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. For sure. Because of just the impact it's had on the world. I mean, with coronavirus, it just came out at the perfect time. But, it's not my kind of game. It's not that I don't even necessarily enjoy it. It's just not something that I'm like, I really, really need to play Animal Crossing. I've put in maybe 5-ish hours into the game, maybe 5 to 10, somewhere around there. And yeah, it's just not something that I really gravitate towards. And again, it's not a bad game, and I respect the game. It's just that I recognize that it's a good game. I just don't personally see it at the same level that a lot of others do. In the same way, Shadow of the Colossus. It's, everyone says it's an amazing game. It has an amazing ending from what I hear, but I cannot play that game to save my life. It is so obnoxiously boring. Just go fight this one boss, come back, go fight this other boss, come back, go fight this one boss, which is slightly different from this other boss, then go back. And it's like, it's so boring. I can't play it. And it's like, I respect it, because, it did really cool things at its time, and I'm sure the story's great. It's just not for me. And so that's okay. Again, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and I gave the game multiple tries, and I still probably will give it another try at some point, but every time I've tried to play, I just have not really enjoyed it. And so, that's okay. I still respect it. Smorf, Delilah, and Pedro still respect the game. And, that's all you have to do. You don't have to be in love with every single game you play. You don't have to hate every single game you play. Enjoy the games you want to enjoy. Enjoy the games that you do enjoy. And if you don't enjoy a game, don't play it. And, if you want to let people know that, okay, but you don't have to shove it in people's faces and be like, listen, this game is bad. Like, you can say, I think that this game is not for me, and it's not something that I particularly enjoyed, and I don't think that it's the best game that was ever created, but that's my opinion, or the exact opposite. And just spread your opinions. Be yourself, but don't act like that's the be-all, end-all. That's the only opinion that matters, because it is, in fact, a opinion. It is a fact that your statement is an opinion, and so make sure to classify it and treat it as such. And yeah, this is more to combat the toxic gamer culture that happens a lot. There's a lot of really, really, really awesome things about gaming, but there's also some things that are not so great about gaming and the culture surrounding it. And so, we should always try to critique that sort of thing and make sure that we can create the best possible environment for our community, because that's what we want to do. We strive for greatness because there's a lot of really great things in video games, and we want to celebrate that and have the best possible time that we can. And so yeah, that's my spiel. That's my rant. I will be running for president. But yeah, so yeah, that's my spiel. I think it's really cool. I love games, and if you're listening, you probably do too, and that's awesome. If not, what are you doing with your life? Play some video games, man. So let's get into the games I've been playing this week. Not quite as much as last week. It's been really, really busy for me. I just started the new semester in college, and it's been crazy. It's been nuts. But yeah, let's get into it. So I've been playing Battletoads. I actually beat the game. It's not super long. It took me 6 hours, um, but it's really freaking hard. Once you get in a little bit past the first like hour, it gets really difficult. But yeah, I beat it. I'm actually playing through it in co-op with a friend now. I'm replaying it. They've never played. Never played the original or anything like that. And so I've been playing it with them via co-op, and so it's really cool. I like it a lot. I honestly, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's an amazing game by any means. I don't think it's going to win any Game of the Year awards, but I think it's a really, really cool compilation slash nostalgia trip of 90s beat 'em ups and platformers. Like, it just takes a little bit from like a lot of the games from the 90s. There's even a Space Invaders mode, like, but that's even before the 90s. Like, there's a mode that's clearly taking from Space Invaders, but kind of, adding its own stuff. Nothing is too. This game never feels like a ripoff of anything. It's just a culmination of retro slash 90s games. It's really, really awesome. Like, it just makes me feel like I'm in an arcade. Like, I want to put a quarter into my laptop. That's how I feel about this game, and it's really, really fun. And if you enjoy arcadey games, I really think you'll enjoy Battletoads, and it's free with Game Pass, so I would highly recommend it. I think it's really fun, and I think it's an underrated game. And yeah, it's really, really cool. So if you like that sort of thing, definitely check it out. It's really cool. I've also been playing some more of South Park: The Fractured But Whole. I'm about halfway through the game. I'm going to be playing some more of that tonight. And so, yeah, it's super fun. I think I mentioned this last time. Yes, this was before. I talked about the fact that it almost seemed too offensive. It's kind of calmed down now. I don't really have that much of it anymore. But, yeah, South Park really tiptoes the line with its offensivity. I don't know if that's a word or not. But I think they went a little far in the beginning. But it's a lot more tame now, in a good way. And so I enjoyed it a lot more when I streamed it last Thursday, and so yeah, I'm excited to play some more of it now. Like I said, I really love the combat, and so it's a really fun game. I also played some Wasteland 2. Like I said, I was not a fan. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I gave it the good old college try, and I played some Far Cry 5 with a friend. We just wanted to play some, and so we jumped into some Far Cry 5 and we screwed around in that game for a while. So that was fun. And of course I played Fall Guys because, I'm probably going to end up streaming that next. It's winning in the polls right now, and so if you haven't, go over to my Twitch and vote on what I should stream next once I finish up South Park. Again, I stream all sorts of stuff anyway. Like I said, like tomorrow I'm planning on streaming Tell Me Why. Saturday I'm planning on streaming the beginning of Wasteland 3. And so I stream other stuff anyway, but more like my regular Tuesday, Thursday streams. Once I finish South Park, as of right now, it looks like I'll be playing Fall Guys. But go vote on what you want me to play next. I would really appreciate that. We've gotten some good votes in there. But yeah, that's the stuff I've been playing this week. And so, yeah, again, not quite as much. I haven't done any Ring Fit. It's been, like I said, it's been a busy week. I'm hoping to try to start next week, and just use this week as sort of my get into the semester and just keep everything going. I was working on a project that didn't turn out super well because of this OBS glitch that's making me upset, but it's not the best video quality, but it's whatever. I tried my best, but it's something I need to work on. I was hoping to have the video up tomorrow, but I just recorded it yesterday, and I'm not going to have any time to work on it until, like, I don't even know, like, probably late tonight, but that's probably not even going to happen because I am going to be exhausted. It's because I'm not going to have any time to sleep until, like, 9 p.m., and so I'm probably just going to crash at that point, and it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. So probably not going to hit that Friday deadline, but I'll get it up as quickly as possible. But that is going to wrap this episode up of Game Patrol. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, next week I will be talking a lot about Wasteland 3, hopefully, and Yeah, it'll be September. So we'll also talk about, kind of do a wrap up of August and talk about what to look forward to in September. Um, Hopefully, be able to talk a little bit about Avengers too, because that comes out on the first. Technically, it comes out, on the fourth, right? Is the official release, but with the deluxe edition, which I pre-ordered, be able to play on the first, and so I will hopefully be able to talk about that a little bit. So that'll also there'll be a lot of cool stuff to talk about next week. But yeah, thank you guys for watching / listening, whatever you did. Again, hopefully I can get this glitch figured out with OBS and get that all taken care of. If anything, like I said, I'll probably just transition over to Streamlabs because I think I can record with that. But and hope that I don't have issues with that. But again, like I said, thank you guys so much for showing up. I hope you enjoyed. If you've got any comments, questions, concerns, all of that, you can, go to my YouTube channel, comment on the video version of this if you're listening. Go down in the comments. You can send me an email at pandamastersemail@gmail.com. Yeah, I know, really cool name. So no apostrophe in there. I don't think, anyway. But, yeah, like I said, thank you, and I'll see you guys next week.